faces. Oh, I love this. There's so many people here.
This is awesome. Hey, how's everybody doing? Yeah! So it's just me and Jen, a couple of dead or quasi-dead characters. So sorry if we're spoiling it for anybody.
Yeah. So basically, welcome to our memorial.
Yes, we're having a Pyrrha and the corporeal form of Ozpin wake. Thank you for joining us. I guess we should introduce ourselves. Hey guys, I'm Shannon McCormick. I play the voice of Professor Ozpin in RWBY. And then I do a bunch of other voices for Red vs. Blue and... Hey, all right. Camp, some other stuff for Rooster Teeth. Yeah.
Day 5.
I'm in Day 5 if you've seen that. And over to you, Jen.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Jen Brown, and most of you know me as Pyrrha Nikos from RWBY. I'm also Lisa Lavender, my personal favorite. And also Red vs. Blue, Camp, Day 5 as well. And I also do a lot of work for DC Universe Online, and I'm the current voice of Harley Quinn. Yeah, that one makes me real happy.
Yeah, so I guess, this is billed as a Q&A, so I think we're just gonna take y'all's questions.
Feel free to start lining up.
I will say, we don't write the show, and we can't answer almost any questions about the show. So we'll just kind of dive into...
About the future.
Yeah, about
like,
the
we
future.
don't really know anything.
So, I don't know what the system is.
But past questions, just... what our favorite movie, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything you want to ask.
We'll answer
Line
everything
up
to the best
nice
of our
and
ability.
polite. Make friends with your line partner, because it might take a while. And we'll wait until we get a nice line foreman, and then we'll start getting
Start taking questions.
questions.
I should say, I don't know what it feels like to you guys, but from our point of view, the fact that the Q&A mic is right in front of us feels very tribunal-like. Like we're going to pronounce sentence on the people who come before us. Yeah. We are the king and queen. I hope your offering proves proves sustainable. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. It looks like we have a good, healthy line. So just come on up and ask us a question.
Yeah, let's get this going. Hey.
Remember me from
We
yesterday?
do.
We do.
I apologize for Michael and Shay not being here at the moment. Now, Jen, I am familiar with your dark humor, so this is revolving around that question. What is, in your opinion, the best meme iteration of Pyrrha's death?
Oh.
Nice.
That is a good question. Wow. I think right now, because it's the most recent, and who doesn't want to be associated with Infinity Wars?
You're thinking of the panel, aren't you?
That's my favorite. That's my favorite right now. I've been sent a lot of Infinity Wars gifts, and it's pretty funny to me. I love that this huge movie that came out, that there's just certain people that the first thing they thought of was Pyrrha. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. That's pretty dang cool.
They did the same thing with the Overwatch Dragons short animatic.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
like,
I'm not familiar with that one.
This was once my home. Did your masters not tell you who I was? Miss, hit Pyrrha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome to clap for each other.
Yeah, you can clap. Even if you didn't like the question, just clap.
just
Make
clap.
everybody feel good about being here.
Yeah.
Hello again.
Hi.
So, for your characters from Red vs. Blue and RWBY, and any other of your favorite characters, if they were in a D&D campaign, what race and class would your characters be?
Oh, okay. Okay. So Ozpin's a magic user. He's a wizard, but he only his spells are completely pointless and useless. Wash is a cleric, maybe with a little touch. Maybe he's like a cleric fighter, cross class kind of thing. And Quartermaster is a half-orc barbarian who just is just really into really weird, kinky stuff. So that's my answer for those characters.
That's really good. I don't think I could possibly come up with an answer as good as that. Oh, Lord. I don't know. Pyrrha... Well, Arid. Oh, Arid.
Arid's an elf.
Oh, yeah. Arid is 100% an elf.
She's like a super duper high elf
Yeah.
who's like super snotty about having to campaign with anybody who's not also an elf.
And pretty much gets everyone else to do all of her work
exactly.
for her, and then never has to touch anything personally. Yeah, no, you're right. Arid is 100% an elf. And I feel like Pyrrha would probably be a wizard as well, just because Pyrrha's great and wizards are great, so why not? That's my only reasoning. I don't know. I can't think of any other. And then what would Carolina be? Carolina would probably be, an ogre or, at least maybe, but like a nice one.
Okay.
I've always kind of thought of Carolina as more of like a paladin.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a hardcore paladin.
Okay.
She's like
all right.
lawful good to the point of being obnoxious.
Exactly.
That's fair.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, shut up.
Yeah, you just answer for me on
Okay,
this one.
all right. Yeah. I played a lot of D&D when I was
Yeah.
a teenager.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of D&D. I just haven't played it as much.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Thank
Yeah.
you. Those are great questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Hello.
Hey.
So I just want to say I really like your work that you did for RWBY and all of Rooster Teeth as well, so just send that to them. If let's say the voices had to be chosen again and whatnot, who's a character of RWBY that you would like to go for?
Nora.
Also Nora.
Nothing bad ever happened.
We're both like
Ever.
hardcore Nora stans, so.
We love Nora. Nora's my favorite.
Yeah, hands down. Hands down. And I love Sam. Like, I love Sam so much. She's just the coolest person. Sam Ireland is just the most adorable human being on the planet. Yeah, Nora's my favorite character. So, yeah, awesome. Nora. That's easy for me to say. Yeah,
I'll say Nora too.
Nora.
Even though I'm not going to get cast. If I audition for Nora, I'm not going to be cast.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I know we both love Nora so much.
Hey, hey.
Hi.
Hey. My question is actually for the both of you. I was going to ask whether it be live action or voice acting or anything like that, what habits do you use to get into character and kind of find yourself?
Ooh, I like that. So with Pyrrha, and in the past, and I still do it for Chibi, I have to be on my tippy toes. I don't know what it is, but something about getting on my tippy toes when I'm doing her voice really, really helps me. I don't know why. I think it's just that idea of feeling elevated. It like helps, because she has this sort of like elevated quality to the way that she talks, and being on my toes. I don't know why. It just helps me get it into my body. Yeah.
Boy, I don't know if I have any habits. So Wash, for Red vs. Blue, Wash was pretty close to me. He's just a little bit more irate or what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of what he's, the emotion that Wash often has, but he's mostly me. But for Ozpin, it's, I don't sound like it, but I always just think about Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones, and like, so it's like if I'm kind of channeling Tywin a little bit, it's like, oh, okay, I can dial up Ozpin pretty easily. So, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask, what inspired you both to start voice acting?
Ooh, I love that. For me, what inspired me to be an actor in general when I was younger was actually part of it had to do with Arlene from the original Batman animated series as Harley Quinn, and that whole series too. I was really into Batman animated series growing up and the X-Men series, and watching those obsessively, it just made me want to do it. I was like, I want to do that. And then I started getting to theater and to film, and then I didn't start doing voiceover specifically until later on. But I'd always, I don't know what it was, watching those shows really just lit a fire under me that was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And ever since I was always that kid that like made up weird voices, and I was like obsessed with Tracy Ullman when I was younger. I wanted to be as weird as I can, always just on performing. And it was just kind of a natural progression.
Yeah, it's similar for me. I think a lot of voice actors that I know were the weird kids who were making goofy voices and sounds when they were in elementary school. So, for instance, when I was in kindergarten, I got in trouble for spending like the first half of the day trying to breathe like Darth Vader. And then there's also a family story. I don't remember this, but from when I was like 2.5, I had seen the Disney Robin Hood, and I ran around for days afterwards imitating Friar Tuck, screaming, "Get out of my church." So I think I was just always like just into, imitating stuff that I had seen on television or movies, and then the right people discovered me being weird and making voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question for both of you, and that is, which is your favorite team in RWBY besides Juniper Jen?
Yeah. That's good. That's a good question. Who is my favorite team? I like. Oh, what's the one? Oh, I'm not going to remember the acronym.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not going to remember the acronym, but it's the one where there's like a girl who's got like pigtails
And the trumpet dude.
Yeah, and the trumpet dude.
Who's what? Oh, right, Team Funky. Right,
Yes, Team Funky.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Any show that could be like, this dude's weapon is
It's
a
a
trumpet, is like pretty badass.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just forgot. Yeah, Funky. Right.
Hi there.
Hi.
So, did you know the fate of your characters when you first auditioned?
Yes.
No.
So when I was brought in, and Monty was like, "Okay, this is the character we want you to play. Here are all the the boards," and they were showing me the original concept drawings and everything. And I was like, "Oh, this is so great! Oh my gosh!" They're like, "Yeah. She's gonna die." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So yeah, I knew from moment one, and it was the hardest secret I've ever had to keep in my entire life, because I had to see all of your sweet, lovely faces come up to me for 3 seasons and tell me or 2 seasons, or 2.5, tell me how much you love me and how great and how she's your favorite character. And I knew.
That was me.
I knew the whole time.
I had the exact opposite experience, and that's not because they didn't tell me. It's because I don't think they knew. So we get to the end of season 3, and then I'm in recording something else, and Carrie comes up to me and is like, "Oh, hey, by the way, yeah, we think Oz got buried under that thing, and he's dead." I'm like, "Say what?" Like, y'all told Jen, like, 3 years ago that she was gonna die, and, like, you just kind of mentioned it to me offhand in the cafeteria? Like, what the fuck, dude? And they're like, "Yeah, we like, think he's in a boy's body." I'm like, "Wait, what the hell are you talking about?" What? And it was like, "We don't really know, like, we're probably gonna use your voice, but it could be his voice, or maybe it'll be both voices at once." "Well, we don't know." And so that's been the Ozpin experience. They're getting so now they're telling me things because I think they're a little ahead of where they had been at that point. At the end of season 3, I think they're like, what are we gonna do now? And anyway, so yeah, I had no idea. But I'm glad I'm still doing voices on it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, shut up.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
So somebody already asked this question, so I'm gonna ask a different one that may be fun for you guys. If you had a semblance, what would it be?
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
I want to make this real good.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna dodge this question entirely by saying like, do we know exactly how the rules of semblances work? Like 100%. Like I feel like I could give an I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm just gonna make one up.
Okay.
I would like to be able. Oh, this is fun. Whenever somebody has a really terrible or wrong idea or opinion or plan that they are being very bullheaded about and that they won't let go of, but they are very wrong, I wish that my semblance would be for them to realize how wrong they are. And then life would be so much better for so many of us.
I feel attacked.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Nice jacket.
Hello. Hello. So I just wanted to say I love you guys so much, and I'm forever sad because you guys are like on my top faves. But my question is, what has been like your favorite moment like in RWBY?
There's so many. Okay, personal? I really like the speech with John at the dance where I'm talking about being put on a pedestal, and I love that. I will always love that. I loved recording that. I love what that had to say. I love that scene. I love that scene. I'll always love that scene. And then something that I had nothing to do with, but I really love, is the neck levy. I love it because it's really terrifying.
Yeah. Right?
And I like terrifying things. So I love that. When I remember I watched that episode, I was like, oh, this is cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that.
I think that my favorite thing that I've done for RWBY is actually probably the World of Remnant, where Ozpin tells the story of the maidens. So it's not even in the series itself, but it's one of the little
You did
side
such
things.
a good job on that, though.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And yeah, I love that piece. And it was it was the only thing we recorded that day. I just came in and recorded that thing because it's a lot of talking.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I really like it, and I think it has served the series overall well to have that background and all that kind of stuff. So I really love that episode.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Dipper hat.
Dipper!
We are huge Gravity Falls fans. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Love Gravity Falls.
I love RWBY so much. My friend got me into it, and I'm really grateful for her. And for Pyrrha, I just cried I can't watch that episode when I rewatch it.
I know, it's so hard.
So, it's a question for you, Jed. What is your favorite role you have ever done?
Ever? Well, it has to be Harley Quinn for me personally, just because that was a huge dream of mine. When I started, acting, and then when I started getting a little bit bigger in voice acting, people would ask, "Oh, do you have a dream role? Do you have a dream role?" And it would always be like Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn. But Arlene's never retiring. I would never. Or they'd get Tara Strong. Like I'd never get a chance to do it. But Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn. And I'd been working for DCUO for like 3 years, I think, at that point. And when my boss told me that Arlene was retiring and that I was their choice, I just died. I died. It was a dream come true. So that, for me, on a personal note, that was huge. That was like, I could literally do nothing else in my life, and I'm fine because I got to voice Harley Quinn. And not everyone loves it, but whatever, I don't care. I love it.
Yes.
So it meant so much to me. Just, she's a huge hero of mine. So to be able to do that in any way is just really cool.
I loved your voice as Harley Quinn. That was
Oh my God,
awesome.
thank you. Sorry, like all the comments online are really mean, so it's really nice to hear someone in person like say that.
They're
No,
dumb.
they are. They're
Those-
really bad. They're very,
jerks.
I
very
don't
mean.
understand why, because your voice as Harley Quinn is really good.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay, first couple things. Love Ruby.
Yay.
And I love Red versus Blue, so Washington, Carolina.
Yay,
Beautiful.
thank you.
I try to get as many people into Red versus Blue as I can, and each time I get somebody new into it, I rewatch it with them, so I get to watch it all the time, nonstop. Okay, so my question is for you, Ozpin, because Ozpin is top favorite character
Thank
ever.
you. Awesome.
And my heart broke when they took out Old Man Ozpin. I didn't get enough of Old Man Ozpin when they introduced him.
I agree.
My favorite quote. My favorite quote is gosh, why? I was just thinking about it.
It's because
Perhaps
you're thinking
victory is in the simpler things that we have long forgotten. Something that requires a small. Sorry, I'm going on. My question is, it's 2 seasons past when you were told that Old Man Ozpin got taken out.
Right.
Do you know why he got taken out?
No, not really. So all I can really say is watch Volume 6 when it comes out. There will be good stuff coming up in Volume 6.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. And that's really all I can say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Hiya.
Hey.
I just want to get this out of the way. Ever since I watched like the finale of season 3 of RWBY, it really touched my heart in a long time. For the first time since, have you seen the episode where in Pokemon where Ash releases Butterfree? That it made me so emotional, so bad. It's the first time in a long time that has ever made me cry. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you for voicing Pyrrha, and she's my favorite character of all time in RWBY. So thank you so much. And also, I've one question. This is for both of you. Who do you think, whether it be for the Raw Women's title, or for the SmackDown Women's title, who do you think would win the Fatal 4-Way match for the title? RWBY, Yang, Weiss, or Blake?
Oh, man.
Oh, that's fun. Wow. Wow. I don't know why, but my first instinct is Yang.
Yang?
My instinct, I don't know why, but it just is. It just is. I think it's because of that whole, she gets hit and she gets stronger thing. That just, I don't know. I just feel like in a big brawl like that would just decimate everyone because they'd all be hitting at once. I don't know. To me, that just seems like the logical choice.
Ruby.
And then in a plot twist, Nora comes in, cashes in Money in the Bank, and then wins the title.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're team Nora.
Yeah.
So like Nora Valkyrie forever. That's like, yeah.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it too.
Thank you.
Take care.
First of all, I wanted to say I'm actually glad to meet you guys today. This is actually the first time I've actually met you guys in person. I've been following you guys ever since I was in 8th grade, so I love both your characters in RWBY
thank you.
and Red versus Blue. I mean, heck, who wouldn't want to beat? No one could beat these 2 freelancers. No one could. Now, speaking of it, my biggest question, and this is kind of a deep one to me, is that what got you guys started with the company Rooster Teeth? Like, who came up with the idea?
Oh, like us being involved with them?
Yeah, like who brought up like the name itself?
Oh, the name Rooster Teeth?
For me, I have a very specific story about this, so I can answer this. When I guess this is about 10 years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I was working at a junior league thrift store as a manager. and Anna Hullum was a volunteer at the thrift store. We became friends. And she would constantly talk about her husband Matt's company, Rooster Teeth. She'd bring it up. She'd talk about, oh, my husband has this company. He has this company. They do this stuff. You're an actor. You should really work with them. You should work with them. And she would just kind of randomly mention it here and there between, funny stories about her kids and us talking about other stuff, music, whatever. And I remember one day she was like, oh, I asked, but there's nothing for women right now. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. And then the store closed. Anna and I lost touch. About 3 or 4 years passed, maybe. And then I was on a casting site just looking at auditions like you do. And I saw Rooster Teeth casting, Red vs. Blue, whatever, something. And I was like, oh. That was that company. That was that company. My friend's husband's company. Okay, cool. So I sent out my resume, my headshot, all the normal things you do when you're applying for a job or for an acting job. And then I added a small PS at the bottom just saying, oh, it's so funny that I saw this because, I'm friends with, anyway, just being like, neat, coincidence, whatever. Fast forward to the day of the audition. I get there and they're like, so you have your sides ready? And I was like, no one sent me sides. They're like, oh, you're supposed to get sides. And I was like, I didn't get them. They're like, well, here you go. Luckily, I'm really good at cold reading. So I went outside, looked over the sides real quick, and was like, okay, I got an idea of how to do this audition. So I went in, and I was like, okay, you didn't get the sides, but you're good. You're fine. So I go in. Bernie and Matt are sitting there at the table, and a few other people, but I can't remember who outside of that. I just know Bernie and Matt for sure were at the table. And I start reading a CT side, okay? For Sam Meyerland's character. I started reading for CT. Yeah. And none of them had been paying attention to me at all. Like when I walked in the room, they didn't really look at me at all, kind of ignoring me. And then when I started talking, I see Bernie do this. And like scramble the table for my headshot. And he like pulls up my headshot. And then he goes, wait. You're an actor? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Sounds like Bernie.
So Bernie, whoever saw my email, just saw the thing about Anna, didn't pay attention to the fact that I'm actually an actor, assuming I was just some friend of some friend who got a favor. And so they weren't paying attention to me because they just thought I was like Anna's friend. And Anna hates that story because she was like, obviously I was right because you use her in everything. So, yeah, and then basically he stopped me and he was like, no, stop reading CT, please read this, Carolina. And then I read Carolina, and then they told me afterwards that as soon as they heard my voice, they knew. And that they had been searching for her forever and they could not find the right vocal tone. And that apparently the minute I opened my mouth, they're like, that's it. And the only thing they told me too, for like prep, like what they wanted to sound like, they were like, do you watch, or do you know who Starbuck is? And I was like, yeah, I know who Starbuck is. They're like, that's what we're going for. I was like, done. Like, I knew exactly what it was one of the weird moments in my life where I was in an audition and I knew exactly what I needed to do. And that doesn't always happen. But like, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. And the side for CT was like a paragraph long. The side for Carolina was 2 lines. So when I got the part, when they called me and they were like, oh, you got Carolina. I was like, oh, that's neat. I got this like really small character. Surprise! I had no idea. I thought I was getting just this like one-off character. It was a pretty big shock. Yeah. And then like to be welcomed into this amazing world with people like you. It was just so crazy to be like, wow, okay, neat. This is my life now. Rad.
So I was working at this thrift store with Anna Holland. And now, so my story is not nearly as like twisty as that, but like I started working for Rooster Teeth when they were like about 7 employees, and they had hired somebody in the Austin improv community who was a good graphic designer to do some product graphic design for them, like DVD boxes or something. I don't remember, maybe it was a poster, it was laying out some graphic design. and they were like, "Hey, Asaf, you know the Austin improv community. They'd just gotten to the end of season 5 of Red versus Blue, and they're like, we need to kind of change the show up. We're going to do this stuff, and it's going to take a little more dramatic turn." And we're like, "We're not really voice actors. We need to get real actors to come in here. Can you help get us some people to come in?" So my friend Asaf, who plays the counselor in Red vs. Blue, season 6 on, contacted me and was like, "Hey, they're looking for a male-female duo. So for Wash and South, and I'm in an improv duo with my friend Shayna." And so we came in and we auditioned together. And I think part of how I got Wash was that Shayna and I have really good dynamic and rapport and chemistry together. So we read those roles together, and I can't imagine anybody else, I mean, obviously it worked out this way, did as well. And so I do this gig, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's 4 episodes, and I get shot in the head at the end. Okay, cool, that was a fun little thing." And they're like, no, you're not dead. And so here I am, like 12 years later, I'm still doing voices for him. So it's just like this thing I thought was a fun little one-off recording session turned into turned into this. So yeah, I'm really grateful. Yeah, there's good questions, man. Thank you.
Wait, I thought Washington got shot in the back.
Was it the back? I don't know. It was a long time ago, dude. Dude, do you know how many times that guy has been shot?
How is he not dead?
Yeah, throat, back, just like all kinds of shit.
When he was like sleep and hunger deprived? Oh,
yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
That's when
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, bud.
Hello.
Hey.
Whoa.
There's your comedy for the day.
That was nice back then.
Okay. My question is to both of you guys. Which actor and actresses is actually that made you motivated to start a career in acting?
There's a few. Well, I said Arlene, of course, is one's for me, the originator of Harley Quinn. But also Judy Greer is a huge one for me. She is one of those actresses where people are always like, "Oh, it's that lady." Like, she's in everything, but she is a genius. She's a genius performer. I saw Jawbreaker when I was a teenager, and something about her performance in that, like, I don't know what it was. I was like, that's the kind of actor I want to be. Like, I knew I wanted to act, but when I saw, like, Judy Greer, I was like, that's the kind of actor I want to be. And Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is my alien goddess of all time. I mean, that woman is just brilliant. And Toni Collette. Yeah, they were really, really inspirational to me.
So for me, I mean, I think I trace my all of my desire to be an artist or to make a living out of the use of imagination back to seeing Star Wars when I was 6 years old. So I'm a huge Mark Hamill fan, and I love that Mark Hamill has like made a career as a voice actor.
Best Joker.
Yeah, he's an amazing voice actor, and he's really great and a good dude. So like, even though like I think some people look at his film work and go, I don't know if Mark Hamill's like the best actor in the world, but like definitely the whole Star Wars stuff and Mark Hamill. And then I don't know, like there's just a bunch of actors I really like when I started taking it more seriously when I was a little older. Steve Buscemi. I love Laura Dern. It's just a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, Club of the Constantly Wounded or Dead.
How are you? Basically.
Pretty much.
So my question is, what was your initial reaction to RWBY? Because I remember mine. It was at the end of season 10, I think it was. The credits rolled. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to close my browser. And I see the red trailer. And I'm like, what? So what was your reaction to it?
Oh, God. I remember when Monty showed me that trailer, and I was like, oh, this is going to blow up.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you could tell immediately. It was like, oh, this is different. This is new. This is exciting. This is but unlike anything I have ever seen, as far as his animation style was just otherworld. He was a genius. It was, I mean, immediate. I remember the minute I saw it, I was like.
You see, I was that
Good
same
job.
way with the 8th season Red vs. Blue. Honestly, RWBY does actually feel like a evolution of seasons 9 and 10 of this show.
Ooh, interesting.
That's interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
because of its mix of like hot, fast-paced action with like loud, blaring music, that's a lot of it seemed to be Monty's style.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Like I had finished recording whatever season it was at the old Rooster Teeth offices, and I was like walking downstairs, and Monty was like, "Hey, come here, I gotta show you something." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Okay, check this out." And like it was crazy. Like Monty worked at a station where he'd have like 4 or 5 monitors all going. He'd just have like some anime show running, and then like YouTube would be up, and I don't know if whatever. And then he was like, "But check this out," and he played the Red trailer. I was like, "Dude, this is awesome. Like, what is it?" And he's like, "We don't really know yet. It's gonna be a show."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. All right then.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi.
My question is, if you guys get to choose which maiden you would want to be, which one would it be?
Which what? Sorry.
Which maiden would you want to be?
Which one would we be? So.
I mean, I like, not because it was supposed to or whatever, but just because I enjoy that season. Fall, just because it's a really beautiful season. And I prefer it. It's my favorite. It's when my birthday is. It's when Halloween is, which is my favorite holiday. Oh yeah, I have a podcast named Women in Caskets, all about horror movies from a feminist perspective. If you want to listen to me talk about horror movies, I've been doing it for about 3 years on the Bloody Disgusting Podcast Network. Yeah. Anyway, yes, fall. I like fall.
I too will say Fall Maiden because the fall is my favorite season, and also Ozpin keeps it up, so maybe maybe third time is the charm on the Fall Maiden move. If he just is like, fine, I'll do it myself. So that's going to be my answer as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's good.
Hi.
Hi.
This is a question for both of you. What episode from RWBY is your favorite, and what scene from that episode is your favorite?
Well, the dance. The dance is my favorite, definitely. And I mean, it would be that speech with John. It was Jean, but I guess I just called him John. With Jean, but I think ultimately, if I had to pick one scene from that, it would be the Team Juniper dance, because that was so awesome. I remember when that came out, I was just like, I love that so much. And then especially when they made that Ruby Chibi episode that like basically showed like Ren being like absolutely crazy about everyone insisting to get the choreography right. I was like, that's brilliant. That's totally what happened. Oh my God. I really love that. I love that dance moment. I love it. And happier times.
Happier times. I love stuff in a lot of stuff in season in volume 3. I just think for it's what hinges on it and what happens and the way it's put together. I really love the whole sequence where Cinder takes on the Fall Maiden on the road with Emerald and like that huge fight. And I really love that episode because when we were doing a DVD commentary or an interview, Sam Ireland had missed that episode and didn't know what the hell was happening in the show because she had completely skipped that episode. And she's like, "What is going on? I don't understand what's happening." Anyway, I really love that fight out on the road between Cinder and the Fall Maiden. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, Sam's reaction. She's like, "What?" That was like me not realizing Yang lost her arm.
Yeah,
that was the same. Exactly. That was the same recording with both of us being like, "What? Did we read the scripts? I guess not."
Hello.
Hi.
This is for Ozpin. Like, what exactly is Ozpin? Because we kind of infer, but like we never get a direct answer. Like I know you're not like really like a writer, but like what is he?
Okay. So I have two answers for this. One is Volume 6 is coming out.
Oh.
And my other one is kind of ties in. Is somehow I feel like it was, even though it was not set out to be this way. You've got Wash, you've got Ozpin, you've got the Quartermaster and Camp. I feel like all of the Rooster Teeth animated shows that I end up doing voices for, I end up playing the immortal, unkillable, bizarre, like continually reincarnated oversoul of some kind of like cosmic entity that can't die. And so that's my answer to that one too. Also, Volume 6 is coming out.
Oh, you're God.
Well, no, I'm not God. It's more like more like Prometheus or something, where it's like, oh, I'm on a rock and a vulture is eating my liver every day, but I'm still in this episode. So there's a little Greek mythology for you too.
Educational, folks.
Educational.
All right, real quick, does Oscar's mom ever notice he's gone?
Dude, I think the whole parents to teen relationship in all of RWBY is pretty jacked up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because apparently my parents don't care about me at all.
Just like every child-parent relationship in RWBY is broken in some deeply fundamental way. It's like, wait, that's your dad? He's a jerk. Oh, that's your mom? She loves you, but wait, what does she do? Where is your parents? Who are they? What?
Never met them.
I've never met them. Do they even know that you're not there? Like,
yeah, do they know I died?
There are no good parents besides Ozpin in RWBY, and he just gets people killed. So I mean, who's?
You know what? Yang's dad's not that bad.
He's not bad, but like he's a kind of a weenie.
He is a weenie. He is a weenie, but he's not a terrible.
He's not a terrible person.
Yeah.
He's just like
he's just a weenie.
He just gets. He's a pushover.
Yeah, he's a pushover.
Anyway, that's yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
What's up, you guys?
Hey.
Hi.
So my question is about kind of just performing in general, because that's my dream, is to do some kind of performing. Doesn't really matter what, but obviously growing up in this town and having a very corporate family structure type of thing, so there's a lot of pushback.
Do you have like are you like the CFO of your family, or what is that?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay, all right, fine.
But if you need some stuff, I can give you my card.
Are you fully vested? Okay, cool. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, so
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
He's a jerk.
I'm just wondering though, like, was there any of that kind of pushback in your guys' lives, and how did you deal with that, and still be like, no, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it? Like, was there any of that?
Yeah. I'm here. What I will say is I'm very lucky in that I come from a family that doesn't have a lot of money, so they were kind of like, well, if you want to pick a job that actually makes money, that would be cool. We'd like that. But if that's not where your heart is, it's fine. So they've always supported me. I'm personally incredibly lucky in that both of my parents saw something in me at a young age, and they believed it was worth nurturing, and they believed that I could possibly make something of it. So they've supported me 100% all the way. I'm personally very lucky in that. Here's what I will say. That doesn't mean I haven't met opposition from teachers, from people I've auditioned for that told me that I shouldn't be doing this, that I'm not any good, that I'll never make it, like constantly. And here's the other thing is the industry is also nothing but rejection. The few times, like we're lucky, we got these really great jobs, but 90% of the time that is not what happens. Most of the time you're told you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not whatever. There's always something that you're not enough of. So you really have to learn to realize what about you is you and hold on to that, if you know what I'm saying, and just be like, yes, they're saying that, but I know me. I know it's truth. I believe in myself. And also having a good system of friends around you that also support you in what you're doing can be a really huge help.
That's what I was going to say. So, I like Jen, partly just because I'm very strong-willed, and I don't think my parents ever were like, "You shouldn't do that," because they knew I wouldn't listen to them.
Same.
So they didn't. I never got any pushback in that sense. But I do think if you have an environment where maybe you're getting resistance from family or whatever, I always tell people when they say, "How do I get started in acting?" I'm like, forget about the mechanical things of getting a headshot or making a voice reel. Get a community.
Yes.
So if you can find, I do a lot of improv comedy. Improv is a great entree into the world of performance. It's rehearsal light, and you can learn a lot of skills that are extremely useful, not only in doing improv on stage, but also in auditions and in your daily life. So I always encourage people, find an improv troupe in your community and join up. You will create a secondary family around yourself who will be supportive if your other family isn't, and that kind of networking is how you get gigs. It's how I got my job. It's kind of how Jen got her job. So just having a group of people around you who believe in you and can recommend you for things is extremely important.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it doesn't end up being improv, it's like find the local theater, find the place that you're like, that's my tribe. You know what I mean? Like, those are my people. I can tell they're my people. And then just try to get in. And then if that tribe doesn't work out, that's fine. Find another one. There's plenty of tribes. There's people all over that are wanting to do exactly what you're doing or something similar enough that you'll be able to find a voice that you can find, like a partner, a teammate.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hi.
So I've actually never watched any of the episodes, and I'm very new to RWBY. But did you guys get to pick your characters?
No, they actually wrote them for us in a way. But what I will say is I did get to have control over my voice. So the voice that they had originally wanted for my character was a lot deeper than the voice we landed on for her. And they had shown me someone from, I can't remember what show, but they had a character that they were like, we like this character's voice and tone. And they played that for me, and I was like, well, that's really nice. However, that's really similar to Agent Carolina from the other show I had been doing. It's a very similar vocal tone. It's very in the lower range. If you want her to sound similar, but there's also this, and I gave them a few options, and I kind of based the Pyrrha's voice on a friend of mine, on her vocal tone. She's always had a really beautiful, clear, kind of elevated tone, and so I was like, what about this? And they went, yeah, we like that.
I auditioned for Ozpin and Torchwick, and then we got done, and Monty said, which one do you want to do? And I said Ozpin, and then he was like, okay, sounds good. So, and I'm glad it worked out, because even though I'm dead, I'm still alive, so unlike Gray's character, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I love your character, Jen. She's basically my favorite character, so it tore me to bits. But my question is this, to both of you. If you had the ability to change anything about an episode, an outcome, not Pyrrha's death or Ozpin's death, something different, if you had that ability, what would it be?
I wouldn't kill Penny.
Bless you! Bless you! Thank you!
I didn't want to do it. When they sent me that script, I was like,
that's jacked
guys,
up.
That's really messed up. Like, that's awful. That's not her fault. She didn't want to. Like, I was like real stressed over it. I was not having it. I was like, and then because I knew what was gonna happen to me too, I'm like, that's really unfair, y'all.
She's a murderer, and then she dies. So we're kind of happy.
No, I know, it's awful. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Pyrrha's death kind of overshadows Penny's a lot, and I'm like, no. So
No.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'll go with the same because it's like nothing's going to be better than that. So.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey again.
Hey, hey.
So my question is for Jen. Your signature has a heart with an arrow through it. Was that foreshadowing, or was that completely coincidental?
I've been doing that since season 1.
That dude's mind just exploded into a million pieces. I watched it happen in real time. It was like the gif of like from Eric and Eric. It was just like.
Yeah,
Kablam!
I sent the picture to some of my friends, and then they immediately wrote back like, "Wait a minute."
Wait a
So,
minute.
yeah. Thank you guys for coming to SacAnime.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello. I asked you this question yesterday, Jen. So, an extension to you. What would you like to see from the next season, story-wise?
Watch volume 6. I can't really say it because I'm super excited about something that I get to do that I told Jen about yesterday because she didn't know, and I was like, I gotta tell you about this thing that Miles said I get to do, and
It's really cool.
It's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it. But I can't. That's all So I have no other desire for what happens in season 6 except for this thing that I get to do. And then I told Jen about, and she can't say either.
I can't. What do I would hope to happen? Well, now I feel like no matter what I say, I'm going to accidentally refer something. So I'm going to say, I hope it's good.
And that you all keep watching.
And that you all keep watching. Oh, first membership. I don't know. Right? That's how you watch it? Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Make sure you get first.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
So, we've had some really great questions for you guys and everyone else. So let's flip the roles. You wait in line for like no, hear me out. No. You guys wait in line, and your characters are up on the seats, and your characters and you've been waiting in line for like half an hour. What question would you ask them?
Ooh. You were too busy doing a bit to pay attention to what he was asking.
So really, I have to go to the bathroom so bad. I took the opportunity to jump up and run around a little bit so I didn't wet my pants.
You know what? I was just gonna say the reason I didn't jump up and run after you is because I have to pee, and I was worried if I did that, I would.
Our bladders work differently then. So anyway,
Yeah, very different bladders apparently.
So I'm waiting in line.
What would you
come
ask
up,
Ozpin?
But
if you could ask him, if he could appear without you, the character was real, what would you ask him?
But I play him.
But you don't. But you don't. As if he was a sentient being of his own, and he came down and was in front of you. What would you ask him?
But he's a fictional character. I don't know.
No imagination on this one.
No, I would ask him.
What does he put in that coffee?
What? No.
That's what I want to know. What's in that coffee?
Vancouver was known for fine vodka. No, I think I would ask him. So you mentioned all these mistakes that you've made. Yo, you want to list them, dude? That would be my question. Like, tell me about these mistakes that you've made.
I would want to know Pyrrha's family is like. Not to hammer this in or anything. But, yeah, no, like legitimately, I want to know about her family. I do. I still do. I'm very curious. I don't know if they're ever going to address it, but I would like
Fair
that.
enough.
That's what I would like.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, high five.
Hi.
All right,
this
hey,
is
how
actually,
are you?
That was actually the last question. I'm just a volunteer to moderate.
Oh.
So if everyone can please just give our panelists a big round of applause. Thank you so much for coming.
We only had one more, and you were gonna leave me in
I
the
was
lurch.
it's really gonna be embarrassing. We're signing in like a half hour, so we'll see you guys soon, I hope. Okay, bye.